I want you to tell me the first things that you see or the first impressions that you have as you begin to understand where you are and what is happening around you.
The whole time, I just feel like I'm sitting with people. I'm sitting on somebody's lap and I'm looking, it's nighttime and we're sitting by a fire eating. And I feel like I'm just looking at all the stars in the sky. I feel like I'm sitting on someone's lap, like I'm a small child, like
Perfect.
a really small child.
Are you able to look at yourself and see what you look like?
I have darker skin and I'm wearing leaves and stuff. It's
Okay.
extremely tribal looking. I feel like
Hmm.
yeah, there's a lot of people around me.
And does this feel like a celebration or just like an average evening around the fire?
We're just eating dinner. Yeah, we're just hanging out.
And does it feel like it's family around or is it like the whole tribe eating together?
I feel like it's my family. I feel like I'm sitting on my mom's lap and there's my siblings around me and
Mhm.
my dad and like his brother. Yeah, it's like kind of just like, I mean, everybody freely goes around and hangs out and talks to people, but in this moment, it's just kind of like, people sitting at dinner, like at my family.
And what is everyone eating?
There's something in a bowl and it's creamy. It
Okay.
looks white, but then it looks brown. I don't know. I really can't. What I'm eating is just soft and creamy. They're
Mm.
eating, I'm seeing chewing of stuff, but yeah, I can't really tell what it is.
What kind of clothing are the other people wearing?
Like, I see cloth. I see some who wear leaves and stuff, but I see cloth on other people. There's like older women will wear like dress like things like that, like a muumuu in our standards.
Hmm.
It's just a simple cloth. But
Okay.
yeah, nothing too fancy.
And is there anything else that stands out of significance on this day?
Not really. There's just huts and stuff, and they're all close together. But I don't know. I just feel really small, and I'm just on my mom's lap. I'm just holding on to her.
So let's move and see what the home looks like.
It's like there's sticks and then it's part of the tr no, there's trees that are used for structure. I don't know. It's hard to see because I feel like I don't know what I'm looking at because I'm a child. So it all looks like it's part of the trees.
Let's move forward to a day where you are a little bit older.
I see myself laughing with kids or running, playing with something, and will like turn and laugh at. I feel like it's something to the equivalent of playing soccer. Like we're kicking something and we're laughing. I
Okay.
have long hair.
Does it feel like these are your kids or are you a kid still?
I'm still a kid, yeah, but
Okay.
I'm not a baby. When we opened up, I was a baby. I see a lot of trees around. There's a lot of trees, like a lot of palm trees. There's a lot of vegetation. And I feel like where we're playing is in a clearing, but it's very thick, dense trees and vegetation. It's like we live in a jungle.
So now that you're a little bit older, let's go check out what the home looks like.
It's like something that has a door with a flap and you kind of lower your head to go in, and it's just this one room.
Okay.
It's like a dome. It looks like a dome to me, but I see it that it's part of a tree, or maybe the trees are used as part of the structure, or it's just in the trees on the floor, or the ground of the forest. I don't know, but it's just a single room, and I see cots or what looks like cots around,
What are they
uh,
made out of?
sticks and cloth, it
Mm.
looks like, and twine or something. I don't know what you would call that, but it's like
Hmm.
a binding kind of thing, like not rope or, but something that binds stuff to
Mm.
things.
And how many cots do you see in there?
I see three, and then there's a big one,
Okay.
but they're all close together. I think they're trying to tell, yeah, there's a family of five in there. I think that's what they're meaning, but I see that they're all stuck together, so I'm assuming probably it's just one big cot even. I don't know.
So
There's
does
an
it feel like
area.
there's three kids and two adults?
Well, that's the tricky part is I can't tell because there's a lot of children that are running in and out of everything, so I don't know who belongs to who. But there's a lot of
Take
children that I play with. I can't even tell if I'm a boy or a girl, so I'm a boy. I have
okay.
long hair though, really long hair.
And is this boy me?
Yes.
And Can you feel, is the mom in that life current in this incarnation?
I see a grandmother.
So let's go ahead and move to my job or occupation or what I spend most of my time doing in this life.
I immediately see you with bows and arrows. You're a hunter and you really like it too. I see you running really fast. I see you like hiding in the trees and like you really enjoy the hunt. Like it's connects you firmly to your divine masculine. Like
And
that's a
what do we
life
hunt for?
animals for food. There are battles, I've told, but that's later. You are a fierce warrior in that life. You've protected the tribe a lot. You had a love that you protected too. But yeah, you were very fit and virile and very, yeah, you were very, much like the tribe knew you and they respected you. I feel like, yeah, I just feel a lot of joy and you running and like you really enjoy running and I feel like you don't ride horses much. Like they tell you to ride horse and you do when you need to, but you like being tactile feet on the ground when
Mm,
you're hunting. You're able to hunt. It's almost like you don't know that you're doing this, but this is what's happening. It's like you use the vibrations of the earth to tell you where your prey is. It's an instinct. Just by having your feet on the ground, you know where to go.
I'm really connected to nature in this
Hmm.
lifetime.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah.
So let's move forward to an important day.
I see you in front of the tribe and they're celebrating and you're wearing like a special headdress. It's like an animal skull, but you're wearing a headdress and everybody's toasting to you. And the chief of the tribe is very proud of you. There's just a lot of pride and everybody. I don't know what they're celebrating yet, but there was a battle and you defeated somebody,
Do you know who the battle was with?
just another tribe. It was, there was a lot of land grabbing going on. I don't sense that it's colonialism kind of thing. I sense that it's more localized. It's just
Hmm.
a lot of, sorry, I'm trying to see it because at first I also saw people with money trying to come in. I feel like it's a land grab, but I can't, it's a mixture of both. It's like
Mm.
the people come in and pay the tribes to take out other tribes because they don't know how to fight them. It takes up too much of their manpower. And so, and rather than, send their lambs to slaughter, so to speak, they'll hire tribes to do it for them.
Oh, wow.
And you defeated somebody that was, I want to say you kind of figured out that that's what was going on, but I don't know if
Hmm.
that's what's happening right now. I feel like you have figured it out. I can't see who you defeated yet, but yeah,
And does anything else stand out on this particular day?
you're a woman. She's smiling at you. Keep looking at her.
Mhm.
You're very much in love.
Okay, let's move forward to a different important day.
It's like a rush of days altogether. I think it's when I see you with your woman and she's her belly's big and you guys are really happy and but I don't know, it's kind of sad like when I saw you in that other important day, I felt like it ended tragically and that's what your love story ended tragically and that kind of love stories always end tragically and so I'm like scared to keep going because I'm like this is so beautiful but I feel like it ends tragically. I feel like something happens to her and it sets you off on the course of something.
Okay.
But this important day is just showing me that this was the most important thing to you was your wife and your children and or I don't feel like you had no, your child didn't even make it out of the womb.
Oh,
Something happened and
was she killed while she was pregnant?
yeah, something happened. Something came and attacked you guys and she was killed and yeah, there's a man in a suit and because you killed his son and now he's out to get your tribe. Like he doesn't hire people this time he comes for you and he kills everybody, not everybody, but a lot of the tribe he kills and it's basically you're on a mission to avenge them.
So how does he kill the tribe, the people?
With guns, I see metaphorically him just coming in this giant tractor looking excavatory, whatever, just mowing down all the trees, you know what I mean? But I'm seeing that is like he comes by force and just mows the whole everything down. There's fire, but that's not a fire kind of thing. But I see guns there's a lot of chaos and screaming. You were off hunting and you could hear it. In fact, I want to say the guy knew you guys were going to be gone hunting and he went when he knew you guys wouldn't be back so he could, yeah, he planned on going and taking out the women and children kind of thing. He knew what he was doing. It was, yeah, there was a lot of tragedy. The ones in your clan are the ones who were hunting. You guys are avenging your tribe because I see a lot of the people who bear the mark were the ones who were hunting with you or who were with you when that happened. But I also see ones who were behind. Like I see your mother. I don't know. I see her meet your gaze and then she's killed. Like she knows that she's about to die and she meets your gaze.
My mother in that lifetime.
Yeah, like I feel like she was murdered, so was your wife, and yeah, and a lot of the children in the tribe, like the people who have that mark, they lost children too. Like the people in this life who bear the mark, that were in that life, they like everybody lost parents, children. It was very tragic.
So what
But
does the mark symbolize, or what? It's not a birthmark from how we were killed. It's more.
it's because you guys were hunters and it's an arrow. Because when I saw you guys, there was an arrow through the neck and it linked all of you guys together. And I see you guys with bows and arrows shooting them. So the
So,
birthmark has to
so
do with how you killed those guys. You
oh,
guys
okay.
fought with bows and arrows, and the birthmark, yeah, I just see the bow and arrow again, and it's linking you guys, and I'm seeing you aiming it at that guy. But that's a symbol. It's not the literal. Like you didn't kill him that day. Like I see you following them. I see that there's some of your people that survived that they took as prisoner.
So we do end up avenging or getting revenge?
Yeah, I don't see you being taken, but I see you sitting with your people being as a prisoner. I
Oh,
also
myself
see,
as a prisoner?
yeah, because like I see you tracking them, but I also at some point see you with them. So I don't know if you're captured too, but there is something that happens at night. You get out of, yeah, you do get captured, but I see you at night with you're undoing people's binds. And
Like we're able to escape
yeah, and I see you guys. Yeah, that's when you guys got revenge was after you escaped because I see you guys ritualistically killing people because you guys were not, you guys were did rituals as part of your tribe. It was just natural to you guys. But I see you like ritualistically killing these people with a lot of rage and there's a lot of conjuring and there's like drinking of blood. Yeah, there's a lot of, because I mean, that was like what was being avenged, there was a lot tied to it, so it was a lot you guys were releasing as you avenged them.
Mhm.
But it's because yeah, I'm not satisfied with that answer of the birthmark because I just feel like there's more tied to it, but I can't really figure it out right now. I'm just kind of seeing the gist of it because it's very blocked. It's a very violent, there's a lot of violence.
From the avenging.
Well, yeah, that and just the life, like, because you guys it was normal to you, but yeah, you guys did do sacrifices and you guys, yeah, there's a lot of tribal behavior.
I see. And so what happens after we avenge the death of our village? What happens to us?
I see like a period of just nothingness. I don't really, I see going back and burying and, or not burying, but like taking care of your dead. I see there's like mounds of dirt and then there's fires going too. So I don't know if they buried them or burned them. I don't know. But there's fires going and I see you at the water like upset and there's times like you hit yourself, like you're trying to heal from it, but there's just a feeling of being lost. And
From the heartbreak of like losing my wife and my family.
yeah, just in your tribe, like I feel like I don't know what to do next. I
Right.
don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I see, yeah, you do stay and rebuild. I see you, you're not the same anymore. You're a lot calmer. You have a heavy rage inside of you, but you're not as action oriented kind of energy. Like I see you farming and I don't see your tribe behaving how they were. That tribe was very active and virile itself, as a young, not young, but the energy was just really action. And but now the energy is really just, it's like if somebody wanted to come in and overtake you guys, they didn't even, you guys wouldn't put up a fight. It'd just be like, okay, whatever, you're our leader now. Like
Mm-hmm.
it really changed everything. Because I don't really feel like it's much of a tribe. I just feel like everybody kind of lives close enough to each other to
Right.
benefit from each other, but like when you need to go to what the equivalent of going to the markets would be, I don't even know if that was a thing of the times. I feel like I see you traveling in the woods to like a bigger tribe area to like for bigger ceremonies. Yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
still worship and do that, but you're not a hunter anymore. You don't enjoy any of that anymore.
It kind of killed that spirit in me.
Yeah, because yeah, it was just that love. That was you guys grew up together. You always played together. I feel like a lot of the males that you fought with and played with, I feel like there's a mother and a cousin who were your friends in that life. Or not friends, but like they're the ones that you played with and hunted with. I feel like the mother and a cousin.
Like my mother in this lifetime.
Yeah. And I want to say there's an aunt. She has a prominent role, but I can't pick it out. She wasn't the chief, but I think she was married to the chief. Because I saw
Okay.
the chief when I saw aunt and then I saw a chief, but like I don't feel like she was the chief, but she was
Mm-hmm.
closely connected to the chief.
Would the cousin be
Yes, I feel like I see, but she's a male too. She's strong and tall like you are. You guys had a lot of fun together. You were always in competition with each other. See who could run the fastest, who could kick the ball the furthest. Yeah.
so let's move to the last day of this lifetime.
I'm still in that field setting. Like I feel like you don't live too much longer. I feel like you're middle-aged-ish to our standards. I feel like you just died of a broken heart, to be honest. Like I feel you sitting out at a lake and your heart is just like you never recovered. And I
Mm-hmm.
just feel like you were really tired. Like you had a really good, it's like you kind of let yourself cry, like really cry. I don't feel like it's very much longer after all that happened too. Like I really don't feel like you're very much older than you were when it happened. I feel like you're maybe 10 years or something older. I don't know. I just feel like I just see you laying down and falling asleep and that's it. Like it was like
Okay.
you almost willed yourself to die. Like I see you picking herbs and doing a ceremony, and then I see you falling asleep.
Did I ingest anything or commit suicide or I just fell asleep?
I feel like you wanted to go into the other realms. You wanted to just go into I don't feel like you were like, I hate my life. Let's die now. I just feel like you wanted to transition. It wasn't like, yes, it could have been classified as a suicide, but the intention was not that. I can't
Mm.
explain it. You just wanted to become part of something different. And I feel like you could start to see your love. I feel like you could see her and she was like with you, telling you how, where to go and what to do and how to find her. And like you just followed her, did everything she said.
Mm-hmm. So I could join her.
Yeah.
Is the heartbreak from that life, is that any of the root of my underlying sadness in this lifetime?
Okay. So when you go, yeah, I feel like there's a thread of something that continues, like a spark that keeps going, because there were lives around that life that centered around grief. And so you were exploring grief. And
Mm-hmm.
so that life, like you fell deeply in love and had it taken from you. Because there's a lot to this story that has nothing to do with your family. Like the birthmarks and all that stuff has to do with the fact that you guys were all in the same tribe and it was such a violent and tragic, just really shitty ending, and one that you guys violently avenged, that you guys are holding on to. But you each have your own stories interwoven into this, and yours is a love story. It's really, that's what makes I just feel sad, like it's just really sad. It's just,
Hmm.
it's just shitty because it was such a pretty life, such a wonderful, joyful life. And then the death changed everything. Someone died and it changed everything, to which the person could not recover.
Right.
And so I think that life was learning how to cope in ways. It wasn't like you were kind of exploring the different ways to cope with it. And you kind of chose like the really violent way, like the way everybody kind of wants to cope with
Hmm.
stuff. And it was kind of like in doing that, it kind of took away your spark in as well. It was like you could avenge them, but at what cost kind of a situation.
Right.
And
Was
it
Travis,
did. It costed you everything because I don't see you. So you're just kind of a shell, and then you just let yourself go.
right. So do I still carry a lot of the trauma from that lifetime into this one?
Yes, the way that you killed people, the sacrifices is what I feel like when you took a life for a sacrifice for a religious purpose kind of thing, you don't carry guilt for that because you feel like it's a belief system kind of thing. But when you killed for to kill someone and to take their light away, that is what you're traumatized about because it was not done in a calm, or so to speak, a calm, ceremonial way. It was done to even the score. It was a different energetic exchange.
Right. The intention behind it.
Yes, yes. I can't see what
Eh,
you did though. I really can't. Like it's really blocked out. I can't see. I see you torture a guy. I can see you over him and he's terrified and you're like wide-eyed, like, with a knife or something in your hands. Like I feel like you tortured him.
And is this the man that killed my wife?
Yeah,
Or is
I
it just a
believe so. I don't know if it is him specifically, but it's somebody who, yeah, they were responsible for what happened to your village. Like there were men. It wasn't just one guy. I can't see. Maybe it was the guy responsible. I don't know, but feel like there was multiple men who raped and murdered the women in your village.
And can you feel what type of people were these? Were these the people that paid other
Yes.
villages?
Uh-huh. Yeah, they were I just see men in suits.
You can't feel where they originated from or where they,
I feel like they're from the southern states because
can
you
you
guys
feel
are very
whereabout?
indigenous, but the technology around you is not
Oh, I see.
because it's throwing me off. But
Right, right.
yeah, I'm just being shown like you guys were very indigenous, but that everything around you, like the world around you is not.
Can you feel whereabouts we live?
It's like kind of on the Caribbean side. It's like the curve that's part of the Gulf Coast because it's on the side that like Puerto Rico, I'm seeing like
And does anything else of significance stand out to you about this incarnation before we move forward?
I would just say it was a life that a lot of them probably will remember because of what happened. There was a deep tragedy that happened to your tribe.
Okay.
And I feel like, but there's lessons and karma and what have you it's all different. Everybody it had a different experience.
But not everybody like killed like I did necessarily.
Yeah, I feel like you guys were ones who did that, but everybody else was either a victim or they just weren't as aggressive about it.
Do we carry it or wear it because we're supposed to recognize it in each other and know? Or what's the purpose of wearing it in this lifetime?
It's like the body or the soul remembers.
What was the overall mission or lessons I was supposed to learn in that life?
I feel like you wanted to learn the masculine side of things. You wanted to experience life as a strong man. You wanted to be a strong man. Because I want to say there's a life where you had a really great father and you wanted to come into a life and emulate that. And you wanted to be a strong man and a strong husband and be a good father. And you chose a tribe because you wanted it had to do with Salem. You like the community. Your soul likes that kind of vibe. There's a lesson of grief because you wanted all these things and then they were taken away from you and you had to figure out how to rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
and how to move forward and move on. And you're having a hard time moving on with grief. Like you let your grief take you over. It's like your grief changes you and you were trying to allow grief to give you grace. But
Mm-hmm.
these lives, it was like you were allowing your
Right.
penchant for revenge to take over because you were had a
Mm-hmm.
thing with revenge in Salem and and it's the revenge in this life as well that it completely destroyed your soul kind of thing. Not destroyed your soul, but it completely like just changed you. I still am trying to see how it's related to the crown because like I said, there was rituals going on, but yeah, there's a heavy tie between Salem and this life and revenge.
So, what would I need to do to remove the trauma or what I'm still carrying from that lifetime that is influencing the blocks?
Um, I see a light, like I see a flashlight, you're just shining it on your head. And when you do, I can see what you've done in the binds. Like I could see the terror on the guy's face. There's ripping people's insides out, and I see uh dis dismembering and beheading people. I can see you guys taking there. I see you guys like I see you guys trying to terrorize people with these bodies. Like this is what happens when you come into the jungle. So I think just shedding light on how dark and evil it got, but I don't know where to go with that because I'm being shown now like what the we really did, you know?
So
Like it.
how do I shed light on it? Do I try to access it in meditation
Well, no,
or
I'm saying I can see it right now. Like I
okay.
can see what
Okay.
you're doing. Like I could see that you've disemboweled people. I could see people's heads on stakes and stuff and being put
Hmm.
around.
As a
Cause there's,
warning.
yeah, cause there's like a like I see houses in the jungle, but it's not where they truly live. I feel like it's just where they're setting up shop, you know? I feel like where they're from is in the South, like the southern states. But I see women and they're horrified. Like I could see you bringing, it's like you're showing people what you just did. And it horrifies these people that had nothing to do with anything, you know? I think you feel guilty for that because there's just a couple of teenage girls and they're horrified by what they're seeing. And I just feel like that's where you didn't want to, they had nothing to do with it. And you kind of feel bad, you know, like, oh, fuck, sorry,
Hmm.
kind of
Yeah.
thing. But I don't know if that would make you completely bind up your chakras over the reaction of a teenage girl, you know, but that's what I'm seeing over and over right now on repeat in my head.
Maybe it was like a aha moment or something for me.
Yeah, I really do feel that. I feel like once you notice the shock of her face, it kind of pulls you out of whatever the fuck you're in, like whatever took over you. I want to say you guys in your tribe, you conjured spirits to take over you in battle so that you could fiercely fight. I feel like they're lower energies and they come in and they not possess, but you know what I mean? Like they come and take you over and you
Hmm.
allow them in through your crown and they come
Hmm.
in and they completely it's how you're able to disassociate in battle and just and like you're just this bigger fiercer warrior
Hmm.
and I feel like yeah once you see what you've done that's when you're like and that's why you don't participate in battle and all that shit after you don't allow that to possess you anymore and you don't allow
Because it
that's why
kind of
you
went
turn
too
into
far.
exactly. Yeah. The same with the sailor. Yeah, both lives. It's like your penchant for revenge went to, and I don't think penchant's the right word. It's just the word that came to my head. But
Hmm.
your whatever it is, your thing for revenge, I think these lives are trying to teach you not to, yeah, these lives are trying to teach you what happens when you allow yourself to go into that energy of revenge, how it can consume you. Because even your whole tribe, like you guys allowed those spirits to come over. Yeah, you guys all did that. And you allowed, it was like you did these ceremonies where you would drink stuff and then you would like dance and like look like you're possessed. And then yeah, it was a whole spiritual thing. But you did it when you went and took revenge. And that's why you closed up your chakra. In fact, I see you doing a ceremony in that life. It wasn't even in the spirit realm, it was in that life. I can see you're painting something on your head. I see you shaving your head and then you're painting something on your head and it was a whole ceremony, and you were binding it energetically because you felt guilty for allowing it to take over. Yeah, it's a whole thing. I'm sorry, I'm not explaining it how it's coming out to me,
No, you're fine.
but you felt really guilty about it, and you felt like it's not what your wife would have wanted, like I feel like almost like you kind of saw your wife's face and that little girl. That's what made you snap out of it. The fear on her face was the same fear that you saw in your tribe. It's like you're no
Mm-hmm.
different than what these guys did to you.
Right.
And so, yeah, I see you binding up your chakras in that life so that you can't be possessed anymore and that spirit can't. Because I want to say in the tribe, they teach you to make friends with that spirit, much the same way the spiritual community teaches you to make friends with your higher self. So
Mm,
it's like an alternate ego or an alternate something, but it's like an inner, it could even be your lower self if you want to call it. Because if you have a higher self, then maybe you have a lower self.
right, right, yeah.
Like the warrior spirit of you or something like, and it's an animal force kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I feel you binding that up because of it, just because it's like hate breeds hate. It's like it doesn't fix anything. Your wife's still dead, your mom's still gone, your tribe
Right,
is a shell of what it used to be. Like it didn't fix anything. It made everything worse.
right. So, what would be the best method to unbind it? How do I go about by shedding light on it? Is that just by like talking about it like we are today, or do I need
He
to
is
do something more?
yourself in that life is talking to me, and he's funny. He's like, well, tell her to shave her head and then paint her head red like I did. He's like, I'm like, I'm not telling her to shave her head.
That's funny because I heard them say that too.
No way. Oh
And
my
I was
God.
like, I'm not shaving my head.
Yes. Oh, I love that so much. Okay, cool. So you could hear it too.
And
Yay.
I heard the shave the head part.
I know. I know. I was like, I'm not telling her that. Wants you to go in your backyard, that space that you created for yourself. He's been guiding you to create that because he wants to come through and like close the cycle, so to speak. He wants you to go in your garden and he wants you to grab flowers, everything that you're drawn to, like any color or any texture or anything that you feel drawn to. He wants you to find things that you find beautiful because that life there, it's just, I keep seeing his wife, like the flowers always reminded him of her. So it's like he wants you to say goodbye to her the right way rather than with the revenge. So honor that love and the child that you never got to meet and kind of have a ceremony honoring them. And yeah, he wants you to honor them. And then he wants you to write a letter if you feel so impressed to. You don't have to, but he wants you to write a letter apologizing to the girl for terrifying her and for putting fear into her the way that your village, like doing what was done to you, to her. And I see him energetically undoing the binds on his head. And so he wants you to sit in meditation with him. And you could even do the motion with your own hands, but in your mind's eye, he wants you to visualize like loosening the binds and and then pulling the thread through the holes kind of thing, and he said, let whatever comes over you to come over you when that happens. He says, if you need a minute, stop and let whatever's coming over you. If you want to write it down, I don't know if it's going to be like a wave of emotion or visions. I don't know. But he says, go slow and allow it to just wash over you. I just see him sitting in stillness, just sitting there. And he said, try to meditate for the first time with peace. And I could feel him like he wants you to meditate in that moment. And he'll say, like, I can't find the words to connect the dots, but it's like meditate in peace. He wants you to meditate in peace, or he's excited for you to finally meditate in peace without that pressure. But he says you have to remove it in meditation. He wants you to be in a deep meditative, like he wants you to like really visualize it and feel if your mind goes elsewhere or remembers something else or something else comes pouring out, just let it, because he says it's
Mhm.
like a dam.
So if other lifetimes or other things come through, just let it.
Yeah, and he
Don't try
says
to
if you
stop it.
want to, he said try it. He says if you need to, you can write it down. And I also see him lifting something to his mouth. He says your thing to your mouth. He says you can say it in your and I'm assuming he's trying to say our phones. Like if you want
Voice
to,
text it.
yeah, he says if you can't write it, then he picks up his hand. He doesn't have a phone in his hand, but he has his hand like he's holding a phone. But he's like, he says, whatever this is, he's like, do this. And so, yeah, voice to text, yeah.
Because I always do that.
That's funny. Yeah, he's saying to do, yeah, yeah. Because because I was, as he was telling me this, I'm like, she doesn't really journal. And that's when he lifted his hand to his mouth with the phone. He's like, then have her do this. But he said it's okay. He's like, if you want to document it, he says, document it and
Mm,
talk about it or say it out loud. You know what I mean? Like, give it life, whatever's coming out, And he said, let it pour out of you. And then when it's done, he said, I see him sitting in stillness. And so I think he wants you to just experience a peaceful meditation.
and what was the purpose of the mortar and pestle?
Oh, with the flowers, just grind it up so you can do a little burning of it, like releasing the pain of
Mm,
losing your family,
hmm
because the beauty of that life reminded him of her. And
mm,
so he wants you to take the beauty in your yard and release it into the universe, like like as like a funeral-ish kind of thing, to mourn
hmm
her properly rather than revenge.
Perfect. Thank you.